I'm really excited to talk about this topic. I am an American, but I've lived in Saudi for 15 years, and I've been mentoring. I've mentored in 22 different countries around the world, young designers. So I'm really happy to have everybody on stage. Today we have Dr. Ala, Gabrielle, Iman, and Stuart. So I'll go ahead and start with the opening question. What do you believe is the most important factor in creating an environment where young Saudi designers feel supported and ready to contribute to the industry?
I'll start. I think creating an environment, there's a big misconception, I think, when people think about interior design and what it's about. And exposure and experience is, I think, the number one key that should be introduced to young talent coming in to get a full of understanding of what the desire, the passion's all about, and to really get a understanding of what people do, how communication's done, and start to build a confidence. I think a lot of people come into the environment straight out of school. They're not given opportunity. Their confidence is low, and that's a deterrent. And I think it stumps the growth of what they're doing. So really giving open opportunity, allow mistakes, allow people to come in and really understand what the business is about and the desire and the passion.
I'd go further. I really like when you said allow mistakes. I mean, there's generally not a mistake that can't be fixed. And sometimes I'm a lighting designer, and I've been nurturing the design talent of young Saudis at Diriyah and embrace their ideas and give them credit for their ideas. It doesn't matter where you sit in the chain. Ideas, the power of ideas isn't exclusive to the guys at the top. So give them confidence, inspire them, mentor them, be there for them. And it's really interesting. I sat on the advisory board of Index this year, and we've got we talked about nurturing talent, and it's something that it's our responsibility. It's our responsibility to the next generation of designers, full stop, let alone Saudi talent. And we've got innovations here where some Saudis are getting to show their portfolios to industry experts. In lighting, there was the Silhouette Awards, which I'd encourage interior design and other design areas. And what happened, young lighting designers, I was an inaugural judge and mentor, but they won mentorship for 6 months from an established industry professional. And it's funny, with judges, some people said, like, I'm German, I'll only take someone in Germany, and I think my reach is long, so I said I'll take anyone in the world. And I got a wonderful Indian girl based in Dubai called Dipali Sherzat, wonderful talent. And she's meant to have won me for 6 months, but when you're emotionally involved, how do you give them back? You know, it's and what's formed is this wonderful collaborative friendship. And she's like my little sister. And when I said I was coming here to Riyadh, she started mentoring me. She said, make sure you read the contract. So it's our responsibility, full stop. And I'll go further. If you have the privilege to come to Saudi and work on these amazing projects, then you have to give respect back. You have to immerse yourself in the culture. And as lighting designers, when we had to recruit, I only know about 3 lighting designers in the whole of Saudi. The talent pool isn't there to go to. So it's my avowed intent that when I leave Saudi, I will leave it with more lighting designers than when I came in. I'm now back to, I'm a better designer than I am a developer, so I'm back to independent lighting design as a consultant. But whatever team I establish here in Saudi, we'll take some young Saudis and we'll put them on a lighting apprenticeship.
I absolutely agree. I always say it's a give and take relationship. Dr. Allah, you are working with MISC, and that's exactly what you do every day. That's the entire foundation of MISC. What do you think about this topic?
So for MISC, I'm a graduate of MISC Leaders 2030 program. And you mentioned MISC and the design and the future of design in Saudi Arabia. So MISC is established by His Royal Highness Prince Mohammed bin Salman to highlight the young talent and the leadership in the future in building the future of Saudi Arabia. Design in Saudi Arabia, I don't want to talk about the future. I want first to highlight the past. So Saudi Arabia have a strong rooted design history and culture. And now the future of Saudi Arabia in the projects. So the future of Saudi Arabia and all the giga projects that's happening in visualizing the Vision 2030, all these projects focus on the young talents and the international standards. So the mentorship program that's happening in MISC and also as us professional designers, we need to focus on how to support the young talent and reinforce what we have of the deep history in the design.
You're so right. Everybody who knows me knows I talk about design diplomacy quite often, and you're mentioning the past of Saudi, and I always use Mecca as a perfect example of design diplomacy, way before Vision 2030 was a thing, or way before computers or anything. It was happening in the ground already.
But also for us as professional experienced designers and mentorship, we need for those designers in order for them to believe in what they have and highlight their talents and also help them to get the right networking around them locally and internationally.
Just on that, and I think it's really important what you were saying about the heritage and understanding where you come from and the great almost palette of what you have as a designer to work with, but also understanding of other influence coming into the region, of experience, of international experience, and combining that and knowing how not to just be based on where you're from and what you do, but embrace all of it and then have a better library of information to take Saudi into the next level and progress the heritage and the design.
Yeah, I think this is an important point because I think what our role right now is to embrace the best global practices there is and nurture the with the fusion of the culture and the cultural elements that we have. I think this is the most important crucial point in how to nurture the Saudi designers and how to embrace the culture within the global practices. And then we come up with a perfect design that has a strong Saudi identity and strong Saudi elements with the modern global approaches.
You meet young Saudi interior designers and it's palpable, not just the passion that they have for design, but the passion they have as young Saudis. And it's you've got to harness that. You've really got to harness that, because I'm working some of the best individual projects in the kingdom at Diriyah, and sometimes we're working with international names, and what we're getting is average performance. They're not really embracing the culture, really embracing the history, the heritage. And I mean, I've even seen it with lighting designers where they're lighting a museum and they say, we don't know what's going in it. Well, I say, well, we're lighting designers. We know what could go in it. We've got to be the catalyst. We've got to design for everything. So I don't understand lazy design. I don't understand how this wonderful interior designer sitting here has got a heritage Jeddah project going on, and that she's not the first person they've turned to, but they'll go to an international established name. You've got to give young Saudis the confidence and let them use their passion and their love of Saudi Arabia, and that what they'll bring to the projects is over and above. And yeah, sure, maybe you've got to make the odd mistake along the way, but ultimately you'll get there, and I think that's where the magic will happen.
But the key is what you're saying is opportunity, right? You've got to give the opportunity, and I don't think that's available right now. And if a lot of the clients want international names, they want all of this. And from my experience on my travels this year, the Middle East is now becoming the design hub. Everyone's looking towards the Middle East now of where creativity is happening, because the best projects in the world are happening right here in the doorstep right now. So it's up to the companies that are here, that are established, that are coming to enjoy the wealth of what's happening here, and then embrace what's here and develop it.
But let's be honest. I mean, sometimes they're by an international average.
So sorry, because I didn't have the micro. Well, I agree. The first thing I want to say is really, we all agree that we are absolutely lucky people to be in this place right now. I think for us it's the best place where we gonna be, and with all the young designers. Of course, I think the first thing is we have to give room to them to get confident, and I imagine, and I know also, because in our company we have young talents, young Saudi designers that can feel perhaps at some point a little bit shy in front of these big names, right? We are working with the superstar architects. And that can be really a challenge for the young designers. But also from their side, I think we have to let them know that how lucky they are, how to take advantage of this opportunity that they have, and to take ownership of their work. I found that sometimes the problem that we are facing with the younger designers is the ownership. That sometimes if you ask for a task and perhaps they say, oh, but this is not in my scope. No. We have to let them know that please take decisions, right? And take ownership on the project, because everything's in front of them everything has to be done. So
I think creating programs that engages the real practices with the universities is really crucial at this time, because education is not enough to really go and work in the space. And we really see talented interior designers or designers of all aspects, but they lack the confidence of presentational skills or how to communicate their design. So I think it is very important to have fixed programs to integrate between universities and
yes, and I think it's not standardized, the mentorship programs yet here. We receive trainees every year. We have people for 6 months or 1 year even working with us just before they graduate, and but it's not common that mentorship programs, and that is absolutely important, right? To help them and to train, to give support. I think is something that the company should think seriously.
Even getting involved into design competitions. For instance, we had this once in Detail Design Center, our office, we collaborated with one of the universities, Dar al-Hikmah universities, and we sponsored a furniture competition for the students. We've seen an amazing transformation in that program, because they had the chance to work with carpenters, with laborers, to produce actual technical drawings that they had no idea. Because students, they do produce technical drawings, but they do not understand why are they being produced. They do not get that you are drawing these, you're having these drafts to explain to the labor how to manufacture this actual piece. So that was a very successful initiative, and it was a short one. I think such programs are really beneficial for students and young designers.
It's funny that you all say this, because 5 years ago, this is how fast the market moves here. 5 years ago, I was talking about mentorship. Everybody's like, what's a mentor? What's mentorship? So it's nice to hear that now people are like looking for it. And this ties into my next question. So I think it's really important that we have obviously 2 Saudi women, and we also have global people. It's very important when you're talking about mentorship to connect these people together. It's very valuable. How can design firms like yours and the industry at large create more opportunities for this new talent to thrive rather than rely solely on established professionals?
For mentorship, as you mentioned, it's very important that the mentee train the mentor not only to focus on their professional skills, but also to focus on their soft skills, and to celebrate their hobbies, because their hobbies come out of fashion. And the integration between a hobby and the soft skills into their professions as an interior designer, architect, or a designer, that's what will make them unique. Anyone can be an interior designer. Anyone can learn how to be an architect in university and to get the training that is needed. But the integration with the other skills, that's what make them unique. Where they come from, that's what make them unique. And for us as mentee, we need to focus on that and celebrate it, and that will give confidence to the mentee.
But mentorship is a give and take thing. As a mentor, we're to give our experience, our knowledge, to show them the way, as you said, not just in technical drawings, but how you talk to people, how you present, to build the confidence. But they've got to show the desire and the passion. And I agree, a lot of people can do architecture and interior design, but to do it well, you've got to have that drive. Otherwise, you'll just be run of the mill. And I know from our sense, you've got to have that passion and drive. You've got to show that. You've got to ask for things. You've got to, be really out there, but you've got to instill that confidence in that person to be able to do that. And I think that's probably the balance. A lot of time, I think on mentorships, the people mentoring aren't given enough time, or making assumptions that people know everything. Like what's normal for you is not normal for them. So you do really need to slow it down and break it down. But the more time the more you put into it, the more you get back.
And I believe also mentorship, it's not only open the doors around the mentee, it's open the doors within them, inside their heads, inside what they believe in. So that's what I believe in is mentorship. Just like make them believe in themselves inside and then outside.
There's a lot of psychologists in this point of view. We have to. The problem is that nowadays we are running, right? We feel all of us overwhelmed with work. I hope that it's not only me, because I feel overwhelmed. So we have huge projects, incredible projects, right? And we have submissions all the time. So my team, nobody from my team is here because we have a submission tomorrow. So everyone is working. I could get rid of the office, but and I mean what this is that we have to stop 5 minutes and think about this, how important it is, and take the time. to think about this new generation of designers, right? Because sometimes we don't think that we are rushing, and we don't stop to think about these things that are absolutely important. Yes, I agree. Sorry. Yes.
Well, I was going to say is it's very important to find time, make time, but as leaders, as established design professionals, the importance of saying well done, the importance of saying great work,
yes,
the importance of saying thank you, and not just taking for granted,
yes,
just is so important. And when I have directly young designers working under me and I give them a task, they're in a safe to fail environment, and I always almost take the blame that if they've got it wrong, it's because I never communicated the task properly. It's my fault, not theirs, because I want to instill confidence. I want people to have ideas and feel safe to have an idea. And even if, and let's be honest, no one ever had the best idea on their own, however creative you are. So, and this is important. And the other thing, and you touched on it, and this is really important, I've been saying this, I don't know a design school yet that teaches the soft skills, the presenting skills. And I see young designers with so much to say, but not the confidence or the knowledge or technique in how to say it, and we're missing so much. We have to help people find their voice.
I think in internships, this is one of them really important, and we do face this. Engaging them in real clients meetings would boost their confidence and teach them this soft skills, how to boost their confidence. And also what you were saying, that it reminded me of the fast pace and how we submit project. Students or fresh graduates, they do not have even the concept of how fast we do deliver projects. So I remember we got a group of interns in our studio to deliver a luxury royal palace, and they couldn't process the amount of furniture. They only had to put on the furniture books together, the final furniture selection. And this experience, I found that it taught them a lot. It expanded their horizon, and how big a quantity of furniture and technicalities that goes into one building and one area in a project that they wouldn't deliver in 2 years in college. So internships are really important to expose them to these situations. And
I agree with you in terms of internship, but also to involve them in advisory board committees. In addition to what you said as well about embracing and celebrating the good design and telling the designer that they did a good work, it's also very important to let them know why it's a good work. Critical thinking is very important, and our nature as human, when we were young, we always ask why. But now, when you said about our busy life and just going and achieving the goals, we forget sometimes to sit and just ask ourselves why this is a good design, why this is not working, and take the time as well to talk to our team member, to talk to our mentees, to talk to ourselves to begin with. Why this is a good design, why this is working. Sometime in the smallest details of why, we get the best results as designers. Because our job as interior designer to let the user enjoy the movement and the life they're sitting within the space, to have a very unique relationship with the space that they're within. And it goes within, again, just asking ourselves first why, and brainstorming with the team why it's working or not.
There's an interesting point about brainstorming. There's a really good lighting designer called Kurt Vermeulen, and he doesn't brainstorm with a team anymore. And the reason he doesn't do it, he says you get 12 people in the room, and 9 of them say nothing. So what he prefers to do is put a team together, give them a brief, send them away to research the problem, and then bring that team back in to present their ideas. It's a really interesting thing, and such a simple thing. And like, if you don't know this, every young designer, every young student you come across, tell them this. When you're nervous to do something, smile. Smile. People smile back at you, and suddenly you'll start feeling confident. It's the simplest trick. And I'm fortunate I was born confident, and that's a blessing and a curse. But there's been times when I'm pitching for the project and the company needs it so badly that I'm nervous, and yet no one would know it because I walk into that room smiling. And it's almost like a confidence trick. It's sincere. There's nothing insincere about a smile, but such a simple thing. If you could just teach people to do that.
Actually listening to a podcast the other day, and it talked about 2 different types of people: the people that are anxious and are nervous, and then the people that aren't. And it said the people that are anxious, have anxiety, and are scared before they do things. These are the change makers of the world, and these are the ones that create all the change. So it's a superpower, I think.
I agree.
We have to encourage these guys with the curiosity, right? To keep curious, to ask, not to be shy, because all of us here, we are guests. So we are just working here, sharing our life during this period of time. But we are no more than guests, and they are the people who will take this heritage, right, and for future. So now, because in Saudi, I think I read some data. I think 10 years ago only 8 schools of design, and now there are more than 30. So in the last 10 years, there's a huge difference. So, and yes, that's the reason why it's very difficult to find designers with years of experience, right? Because it's very young. Also the career here. So, but they have to know that this is for them. We are here just temporarily. And I believe all of us, at least all the international community, we are here eager to give this legacy to them, to share our experience with the youngers, being humble and being kind with all the designers. I would like to ask the young designers to keep curious. Guys, please keep curious and participate in everything as you can.
Challenges.
Yes, go to exhibitions, art exhibitions, anything, right? Because Picasso, my compatriot Picasso, he said the inspiration exists, but it has to find you at work, right? And sometimes the young people think, okay, I have to get inspired, but to get inspired, we have to work, and we have to be in the world, being part of of all the experience that we can gain and that will feed our designs. So,
but they shouldn't just, I encourage every young designer to go and hear inspirational talks. But the mistake that some people make is that I'll go to interior design talks, listen to architects, listen to lighting designers. The conversation becomes more whole when you speak with more stakeholders and get, different people's perspective. And I'm kind of, as much as I'm really passionate about what I do, I was born stupid as well, and I call it feeding the design monkey inside. You have to feed it, and just get more people involved. I love that when you've got an architect, an interior designer, a landscape, a lighting designer, the conversation becomes more tangible. Just,
I think promoting awareness to what design is and the many disciplines of design, not only interior design, and the subdivisions under interior designs is very, very important. And I think this should be early on stage with young students.
We're trying hard.
Yes, so they would understand what their passion is about, what are their hobbies, what are they good in, and they would nurture that, and then they would find the right mentors, and then the cycle would go.
But if we've all discussed here about what needs to happen, how to mentor and give opportunities, then how does that designer come to us, and how does this happen to where we can give mentorship, we can give opportunities? Because there seems to be no means right now for that to happen here.
This is a really good question. I want to go back to you said about asking the why. I think this is really important. And I know that whenever I was a younger designer, I never asked why, because I just thought, well, they're older than me. They know better than me. I might not know. Maybe this is stupid to ask why. And as I've grown more seasoned in my career, now I'm like, people will tell me something like, why are we doing this? This doesn't make sense. And they're like, oh, yeah, you're right. Let's not. I'm like, this is wasting my time. Why are we doing this? And people listen. And I was like, I should have asked why before. But you're right. We're always, as young designers, we think everybody else knows better than us. And that I think it's better when you're mentoring to maybe teach them that your questions are valuable as well.
I respect stupid questions, and I tell people, feel free to ask a stupid question. I didn't get where I am in life without asking some stupid questions along the way, and there is no such thing as a stupid question. Don't be frightened of peer pressure. Don't be frightened of, asking why, understanding.
It's also, I think it's really important also, whenever you are a young designer or you're mentoring, you're in it's a very fragile state, especially here in Saudi. It's a very fragile state. I always say we're architecting the industries. We are building these industries, everybody here on the ground doing the work. So you want to teach the right ways. You have a lot of power, and you're scared to make mistakes even as the mentor because you don't want to do wrong. And sometimes a little criticism is all it takes to completely destroy somebody in their entire career.
And also, being a good designer is always, I believe, associated with paying attention to details. When the more you pay attention to details and the ability to connect some weird out-of-the-box dots together, that will give you the ability to come out with a better design to serve the user. So also, that comes as well with the part asking why. The answer would depend on the person experience and how they use the space and the stories and the history that comes behind it.
Okay, so I'm going to ask one last question. It's already been an hour. I can't believe it. But I'm going to ask one question, and this question is an open question for each one of you all, because I think you all have such valuable insights to add, and then we'll open it up for the audience, for anybody that has anything that they want to ask you all. In your experience, what is one specific step we can take right now, whether individually or as a group, to ensure that the next generation of Saudi designers not only enter the field, but they also succeed within it?
I think it comes down to opportunity. I think there has to be some kind of catalyst to get from that stage into an environment and have someone give the opportunity, the understanding, the nurturing of what's needed. There are going to be mistakes. There's going to be time, but as I said, the more time you put in, the more you get back from this, and the more people learn. It's a proven entity. I used to like the idea of apprenticeships or full interns. Regina over here has been with me for 13 years. She started with me as an intern, and God bless her, she's kept through it. But I do believe that process of that nurturing and working with people and giving the opportunity is what needs to happen. But from getting that catalyst of coming out of school to a professional environment, there needs to be a means to do that. There needs to be some way to help people find the right way, the right path. And I don't believe that's here right now, or I'm not seeing it right now. And I would like to see that happen.
I think the first step is I agree with Stuart what he's saying absolutely, and I'm sure all the companies are in the same page, and all of us, we are willing to share our experience with all the designers, and we are open to welcome all of them, knowing that they will take all our baggage as to project in the future, right? I think all of us, we are here, open to help, open to welcome all the designers, and I would like for the people who are in the universities, who are close to the young designers, I'm always staring at you, because you are Saudis, and I think you are more in contact with the young Saudi talent, to tell them, please guys, don't be shy, so go. The world is yours. You have to tell them that the world is yours, and take this opportunity to take the experience from all these big guys that are now there, right? Because the future is of all the Saudis. I'm sure, I have no doubt that they will succeed. This country will succeed, of course, without any doubt. And well, I wish the best for all the Saudis, and I just want to thank. I think it's important for all of us to be thankful with the country, with the opportunity that we have to share with the people, with the young people.
We're also thankful for the opportunity we're given, the exposure we're having with such international exposure while remaining in our hometowns and with our family. So definitely it's a two-way appreciation. We are over the moon for that. And we do feel we are very lucky. And I think going back to your question, is keeping an open door is the first step into engaging new designers and young designers with such expertise we have now in Saudi, with international expertise, and even with the Saudi firms who were established a couple of years back.
Again, going back to your question, Brandy, about what we can do as individual or a community to better the design and help designers, I believe two things. Help everyone, anyone who need help, designers, young non-designers, just help anyone if you can help. The other thing, be your own competitor. So don't compete with anyone else, just compete with yourself. Be a better person, whether in your profession, as a person, because as well, what will help us grow is to focus on how to better ourselves as a person, not only in the profession. So that's my two giveaway for the future designers.
I'm originally from the theatre, so I love storytelling. I love storytelling with I like finding the narrative. In real terms, it means you look at everything with fresh eyes. And you've got to have the opportunity, because there's so much history, heritage, and culture here. And however much empathy I have to it, you live it, you're part of it. So we've got to include young Saudi talent in what's happening here. You've got to, in all the ambitious things that you're doing, keep 1 foot anchored in the past and 1 foot really, really anchored in Saudi culture. And so similar to what you said to me earlier when we were chatting, don't dream it, be it.
I think all of the young designers are lucky to have everybody on the stage on their team. Thank you all so much for your time and your amazing insights. Do we have any questions from the audience? Good. You have one? Okay. Better.
Hello, everyone. Gabrielle, this question is for you. So you touched on very important topics for me, which is intellectual humility, curiosity, and critical thinking. Even though these are things that I would love it that we have it over here, it's not very common. So what was your mentee experience that inspired you to have those three qualities? Because you must have had a mentor as well.
Yeah, well, because I'm always saying my team about that. Saying, guys, please keep curious, keep asking questions, don't be shy. Most of the people are very shy at the time that they make questions, right? Even me, myself, if I'm in a, I don't know, if in a conference, I will feel a little bit shy to ask. Because we always think that our questions could be stupid or someone else already did. I don't know. But we have to overcome this feeling that we have and ask and questioning and move around. Sometimes because I really love to encourage my team, the young people, to be better, to feel this passion. I'm always saying the team, guys, if you are not enjoying what you are doing, please rethink, because you are in the wrong way. So I'm here after 35 years experience working I'm an architect, but working in the interior design field, because I really love what I'm doing. It's passion, what we feel. And I think 99% of us feel this passion, right? And if not, we are wrong. We have to do something else. I'm absolutely believe that.
So what I'm asking is, because as me, an aspiring mentor, I want to see what your experience was as a mentee when you were younger, when you were a young designer, because I don't know what your cultural background is, but in Saudi, for instance, there's a big hierarchy. So there's an extra obstacle that people have to get over in terms of, I don't want to ask someone, as Brandy had said, they know better. And in a society where, no, they know better and we revere the elders,
yes,
it's even harder to come and say, hey, can I question what you're doing? And it doesn't happen. So I want to see your mentee experience to maybe help understand, so I can actually communicate with my fellow Saudis,
yes,
how I can inspire them to be curious, to have intellectual humility. Those are not easy things.
No, yes, absolutely, it's not easy. I really don't know how
So what was your personal experience as a mentee when you were younger? If you can go back and think of your mentor, what did your mentor do to you?
It was, more than a mentoring. It was my heart, my passion, what moving me on. And I don't know. I always want to be architect since I was very young, playing with the Lego, because that was the way that I can express my passion for architecture, and traveling. These were both things that
Perfect
moved
for curiosity, but that was curiosity.
Yes. So I became an architect, and then I traveled the world. So this is my 5th country where I'm living. I was living in India before, Saudi, Qatar, Argentina, Spain, with my family. My daughter is here. So they grew up in all these countries, and I feel it's my passion what moved me forward. I was very shy. I was very shy when I was young, and I was not able to ask, and this experience was not. I feel that I didn't really took the advantage of my mentor at that time. I'm sorry, I don't know if I answer. I don't want to take.
I think I can answer your question. for me, I think the opportunities that I personally was given when I just graduated from college humbled me, because like really important clients approached me just يعني من فضل الله, no other reason. So this opportunities really humbled me into being يعني kind and يعني accepting having stupid questions, because if I wasn't given these opportunities when I was young, I wouldn't be able to have the confidence to have my own studio and to be such a very young designer, having getting on big challenges and having bigger projects. This is the only way I got there, being having really kind people helping me and mentoring me. So
Yes.
This is what I had personally, and I think this is what I love giving back.
Yes, and I didn't have that opportunity. Our experience was absolutely different. I had to take my own decision to say, okay, I want to move. I want to go outside, right? I was in Argentina, in South America. And at one point I said, okay, I want to go to Europe. So, and I decided and I moved myself alone to Europe, right? And I start my experience, professional and personal. I didn't have the luck to say, okay, a multimillionaire client to say, oh, Gabriel, we would like you to do my house. No. But yes.
I was going to say, I think being a mentor in Saudi, it's a big job. It's not like being a mentor. If I'm in America, people might come to me for an hour session. Here, it's completely different. I mean, they're looking up to you. They're following you, like on Instagram. They're watching every move you make. Like it's like you become like a part of their family or group. So it's like quite a heavy load on your shoulders to make sure that you do and say things right, because they're watching everything here, the young designers.
I think though that is everywhere where there's a big arena for interior design. My mentor was in New York, and he had this very calculated arrogance about him, where I learned how to talk to people, how to deal with people without being offensive but being confident. And he would leave windows of opportunity for you to grasp. He wouldn't give you anything, but he would give opportunity to take things. And if you took them, you would get more of it. And that's very hard to find these days. And this is, again, what I'm saying is, you want to see that in these students coming out. You want to see that opportunity, that desire. And the only way you're going to see that is by giving them the opportunity.
It's coming. It's coming.
Back to your question, how did your mentors help us, right? That was your question. To me, my mentors helped me in being in my comfort zone. So my mentors helped me a lot. But people who did not support me helped me more to become the person who I am today, because I was out of my comfort zone. I learned on my own. I learned from my own mistake. I questioned myself why I'm receiving this action, why I'm not receiving, what is it that I'm doing or behaving or submitting that did not match maybe their expectation or how they see things. So I believe what taught me and make me the person who I am today, thanks to my mentors who had within the profession, within family and friends and all of that, but also a big thank you to the people who did not believe in me. A big thank you to the people who really torture me. I learned a lot from them, to be honest.
Thank you all so much for your time. We appreciate it. Have a great day.
Thank you.